She's not only a personal chef, she's not only a mentor at this point and giving cooking classes for children, she is a published author. We're at three, right?
Yes, ma'am. My grandma and my mom, they're both actually trained chefs. Circle back to why I wrote this children's book is because I was starting to realize that there's things that keep people from cooking that I didn't understand.
Okay.
And I learned that through teaching these children.
You could have easily gone into the catering business. You already have people reaching out, but that's not what fills you.
Yeah. I just feel like sometimes people have a hard time reaching kids. And for some reason, I've just never had that issue. Always try to be there for them even outside of cooking classes.
Hi, thank you for joining yet another episode of Get Set with Lissette. This is where we have inspiring conversations that empower you to get set. And today, 'tis the season. We are going to be talking all things that have to do with cooking, that have to do with holidays, that have to do with kids, that has to do with, you name it, we got it. Because why? It's holiday season. I am joined with no other than Mieshia. How are you?
How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much for taking the moment to have this conversation.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, of course. We've got...
I don't really think of myself as a thing, but
What?
We're here.
You don't think of yourself as a thing?
No.
Honey, wait till I get to talking about all the things you got going on. Miss, I'm not really a thing.
I mean, I'm humble.
Humble brag.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we at with it, though. I'm going to need you to have a nice humble brag, though, because you that girl.
All right.
Okay?
I agree.
Oh, okay. Then that's all.
If you're the girl, so if you tell me
you better stop. But look, so the way we always start our episodes, although you might not need it, but typically it's a nice little icebreaker to get us loosened up because some people come in here and they're not really ready. Yeah. So this is a real quick fire. Don't overthink it. It's an RU, okay? Mm-hmm. Sweet or salty?
Salty.
Morning person or night owl?
Night. Oh. No, morning. Morning.
We going final answer?
Final answer, morning.
Okay, so you do get up early and you all about it.
I do. And I'm more productive, so I'll say I'm
fair.
I like the night because I get to go to bed.
Okay. But you actually are a morning person. Yes. I got you. All right, introvert or extrovert?
Ooh, I'm a mix.
You're a mix?
Yeah.
Okay, I ain't mad at that.
I use my time to speak when needed.
Fair.
But I can be quiet. Most times and be happy that way.
And be perfectly fine and content.
Perfectly fine.
I am not mad. And this one, there is honestly no wrong answer for this one. Are we watching the YouTube or are we listening to the podcast?
Podcast.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Definitely a podcast lover.
You're a podcast lover?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I have more time working, so it's like popping your headphones, keep it
going and listening to this amazing conversation we're about to have.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm not mad at that. So I always like to start our conversations. Let's go backstory. Let's really get to know Miss Mieshia and where you come from, how you got started. So let's talk about it. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I was born in Brooklyn.
Okay.
I'm the oldest of 4. My parents are from South America.
Love this.
So I'm a first-generation American. I like to say that, because it just represents how,
absolutely,
I could have been something else or I could have had less opportunities. But,
right,
it took one person to make things happen that probably wouldn't have happened if I wasn't here. So
absolutely,
that's just to credit my parents and
please,
obviously,
all the credits.
Pushing me to be what you guys see today. So,
absolutely, which is a thriving woman who is literally doing all the things.
I appreciate
that, so do I call you chef? Do I call you cook? Do I call you what? How?
I wear so many hats.
Right.
So, I mean, for this conversation, I'm a chef.
Chef. We're going to go with
chef.
I
also work at Downtown Daily Bread.
We're going to go there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, I am director of food service and operations there. So that's another hat. And, I mean, I'm a mom, wife.
Right.
So
you wear
if
all
we're
that?
talking about hats, I just wear a lot.
Right. But at the end of the day, the core is cooking.
Yes.
The core is always food. So
always.
Every hat you have, whether you're the executive chef and director of food services and doing what you do with Downtown Daily Bread or your own personalizations and we're going to talk about the whole business that you created, as well as we won't get into the cookbooks and all the things.
Yeah.
Regardless of anything, it stems from cooking. So where did you learn to cook?
I would say it wasn't formal but my grandma and my mom, they're both actually trained chefs. Well, I should say my grandmother is a trained cook, if you want to say, because she did that while she was in Guyana.
Okay.
And my mom earned her culinary degree in America.
Okay.
So food has been a thing, from birth.
Okay.
So I don't know, until I got to a certain age, I didn't even know that people have trouble with cooking. 100%. I just thought it was a thing.
You're it's natural.
Yeah, people would be like, how do you make this? How do you make this? And I was like, oh, I didn't know it was so hard.
Right.
Or tedious to people. Because, I can cook pretty fast, too. People
Really?
are, shocked at, how much I can cook in, a small period of time.
Well, because at Downtown Daily Bread, so let's also, I'm going left real quick, but
okay.
It's fine. It just feels seamless. Because the way you're saying I can cook fast as well. So for those that don't know, explain what Downtown Daily Bread is specifically, and then the quantity of food that you actually have to push out. And you're not giving little food. No. You've really kicked it up a notch in that place. I've seen the meals that you're making, and you're giving quality food. So let's start with the actual organization. What is Downtown Daily Bread? And then we'll talk about the amount of food you're pumping out.
Right.
And then we'll go back on task. But when you're saying I can cook fast, let's talk about that.
No, I appreciate even giving the spotlight to.
Yes.
My job is incredible. It's a passion of mine. I think it's become something that I have the easiest time speaking about.
Okay.
Because it's something that I just feel so much passion for.
Okay.
People don't know, but me and my grandmother, just before I talk about Downtown Daily Bread, but the reason why Corey, the ED now, reached out to me is because even before then, I was donating meals ever since I was a kid. Okay. So that started with my grandma. We used to do 2 meals a year for Bethesda.
Okay.
And when she moved back to Guyana, I continued to do that.
Continue the legacy. I love this.
And then I started just making sandwiches, making little gift bags, and just passing it out throughout downtown.
Okay, downtown Harrisburg.
Yeah, downtown Harrisburg. And then me and Corey just kind of ran into each other. I thought it was so dope that she's getting a check for this thing that I'm just oh, you can make a career out of this?
Right, yeah.
So she was there, and we became friends. I supported her in her lane as the executive chef at the time.
Okay.
And then, when she moved to ED, I was just oh.
Which is executive director.
Yes, executive director.
Yes, just in case.
And I was oh, this is amazing.
Right.
Never crossed my mind of who's replacing her, who's going to cook. And she reached out to me and was I know this is stupid. I know you're not going to want to do this, but, if you're interested, you're my top person I would want to do this.
Aww.
And I'm what you mean?
Right.
Why wouldn't I want to do that?
Absolutely.
So it's been history from there, but just give a little bit of history of Downtown Daily Bread.
Yes,
it is
please.
a homeless shelter. It was started 41 years ago.
Wow. I don't think I realized how long. I mean, ever since I've been around, I know that it's been there, but I didn't realize how far back it went.
Me neither.
41 years.
Yeah, 41 years. It is a homeless shelter where we provide newly 3 meals a day.
Yep.
We have a food pantry that's also new.
Right.
We provide things from ID vouchers, a drop-in center where they can sleep, computers, phones for them to do any kind of research for applications, job searching, anything like that. We do mail services, which is something that people don't understand how
that works.
Important that is.
Yes.
But that actually allows them to apply for insurance.
Absolutely, because you need an address.
Exactly.
Right.
Any kind of assistance goes through your mail. So it's just a way for people to be able to not completely feel hopeless.
Okay.
So that is really why I'm so passionate about it.
Absolutely.
But just to give you an idea of how much we serve, we do about 250 meals a day.
Exactly. That's the reason why when you were saying, and I can cook fast, I was we're venturing off a little, but I feel like it's important to explain when you're talking quantity, 215 meals a day is just getting pushed out.
Mm-hmm.
And when you say 215, that's in totality, or is that per? Because now you guys are doing, like you said, 3 meals.
So yeah, to not get, I guess.
I get it.
I was trying to keep it simple, but yes, per meal, we're almost doing 100 guests.
Okay.
Every time any guest that comes in is offered seconds. So when you think about, yes, we're doing about 250 on a slow day.
Right.
They're also being offered seconds. So we are cooking a ton of food a day.
Exactly.
We're serving full course meals. Like you are getting a protein, a starch, a vegetable, and a dessert. So it's a lot of food we're kicking out.
Exactly.
And we service a lot of people.
Okay.
So yeah.
So let me ask, was that your like introduction to like cooking, quote unquote, professionally, or were you already like, walk me through, because like I said, everything that I've ever seen you do, first off, you do it at the highest level. And secondly, one would almost feel like one's not related to the other, and yet they all are based around this concept around cooking. Yeah. So did it start with Downtown Deli Bread, or where did you start taking this passion and something that's been clearly just brought down from generation to generation? You guys just have the gift of cooking, because that is a true gift, because I've had some of your food from others. It's bomb. Okay.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it's good. So bless your hands. Like there's that. So that comes naturally. Like, when did you go professional? Was it Downtown, or did you? No. So how did that start?
I've been working in restaurants. Okay, so it actually starts in high school, but I wasn't cooking at the time. But my restaurant history did start in like 11th grade.
Wow.
So since 11th grade, I've been working Red Robin, hotels, banquets, you name it, I've done it. So during the pandemic,
makes a lot of sense to me.
Yes.
Okay.
So I always like worked management.
Okay.
I was really my last hotel job was Best Western.
Okay.
And I was the restaurant manager, and I oversaw a lot of the banquet halls, like when people had weddings and things like that. So we kind of worked cohesively, but my actual job was the restaurant. During the pandemic, obviously, restaurants went downhill.
Absolutely.
There was not much work. I was pregnant at the time, so I just didn't see it being as long term as I thought it could have been when I only had one kid that was a little older.
Right.
So I decided I was basically on maternity leave during COVID.
Yeah.
But with everything, I was just bored. Like, I just didn't know what to do with myself.
Fair.
I don't do well with idle time.
Understood.
So the idea came to me to create this business, and it eventually got bigger. But the core of it was my catering was actually as a personal chef.
Right.
And designated for date nights.
Okay.
So
because you were curating date night experiences.
Yes.
Okay.
So that was all I was doing. Just, I come to your home, I cook for you and your spouse, and I was creating an environment that felt like you were out.
Right.
Without going out.
Right. Which is perfect during COVID.
Which also came from the fact that I'm also married, and it was hard to be in COVID. So
absolutely.
I was talking to a lot of friends and a lot of peers that were like, yeah, you can't go on dates. Like, this is terrible.
Right.
But you have to do it in a safe way. So, yeah, I curated these evenings where people would have 4-course meal, an activity.
Right.
So I collaborated with local businesses that also did things like paint and sips and things like that. And all they had to do was give me an invoice. Right. I told them I would pay them whatever, because I didn't want them to feel diluted as well. Right. And I knew everyone was having a hard time. So I was just like, if you could help me create this experience, I would make sure that you get what you're worth, and get your name out there. So I would market for them and, things like that. So it was just a way for everybody to just get a different feel, but without being out of their safe home at the time. So
you started with that personal experience with COVID. And this is going completely left, but it's just a point of reference because I've just taken notice to this. I love the fact that during a full pandemic, a lot of people that I've had the opportunity to speak with, rather than getting down and out, they took the time to become entrepreneurial and really consider, what are my innate strengths? What am I good at? And how can I capitalize on it and still find an opportunity to make some kind of income and then find a way to use my natural gifts to create something great. So you literally did the exact same thing. So you took the time when everyone's locked in and stuck at home, and you curated personal chef services.
And I think it's like, when you're working for someone, there's a security.
Right.
And when you have kids, you tend to not want to like shake the boat.
Right.
I knew I had a gift, but I'd rather work for someone and make sure I have a check to feed my kid.
Understood.
And then COVID was like, well, what else can you blame it on?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
all
like
you have is time.
Exactly.
So I think that's why so many people got so creative around that time, because you didn't have any reason not to anymore. Like, we had no more excuses. Like, you have nowhere to go.
So that's become a whole thing.
Yeah.
And so do you still, so you started there, we started in the personal chef. I feel like, but correct me if I'm wrong, you've done some like catering.
Yeah.
So when did it like grow to like bigger audiences then?
Just people asking me, and me just being like, I don't know. I mean, I can, but you know,
so rather
I
than...
didn't. I actually, even with those clients saying yes, I don't say yes often.
Okay.
Because I just like the personal side of catering.
Right.
That's why I always tell people I'm a personal chef. I don't ever want to like say that is my market, because I've learned that I'm into the centerpieces, the china, the tablecloths. And, you know, when you do bigger catering, you lose some of that.
100%, because you're doing it at a bigger quantity.
Yeah.
So, right.
And then it's like, okay, well, now you're nickel and diming to the point where it's not exactly what I enjoy.
Okay.
You know, I like doing it in the stance of like, I'm at DDB and that is needed.
Right.
But like, I don't feel like that's where I wanted for my catering business.
Understood.
So, you know, I did
dabble into the catering. Okay. So started as a personal chef, dabbled into catering, and then was provided this opportunity to provide what's your natural gift and become the executive chef at Downtown Daily Bread while still maintaining your personal chef experiences and everything else you've got going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in between there, before I got to Downtown Daily Bread, I started doing cooking classes. So that's why I couldn't add without taking off. So.
Understood. Because I was going to say, because now that you have established yourself as a chef, I was going to go right into it. What led you into the children's cooking classes as well as a whole children's cookbook?
Yeah.
Where did that like transition happen? And yet again, like, where was it birthed from? Like, you've got these other ventures happening. And again, it feels like one's not related to the other, but it's still all based around this one theme.
Yep.
So how did that come about? That was a perfect segue. Yeah. Thank you.
I'm like... it's like, until you hear it all, I'm like, wow, okay. Maybe I did it a lot. Okay.
I'm trying my best. That's why we going down here. Yes, let's talk about
it. I was working at Good Brothers.
Okay.
A coffee shop downtown. He approached me and was like, would you curate a menu to serve out of the coffee shop?
Okay.
So I was working there, you know, for maybe almost a year.
Okay.
That was, you know, just maybe not what I had in mind.
Right.
But I just was like, okay, maybe this is a way for me to help someone and also get my name out.
Right.
Okay, so, you know, I'm just in there minding my business. You know, people come in and out. You really don't know who you're going to meet.
Right.
And this guy approached me and he's like, hey, can I talk to you about something? He was coming in pretty frequently, but we never had a conversation in depth, like, of who he was and what he does.
Right.
But he said he was, like, taking notice to how kind and passionate I was.
Right.
And he had this idea. He wanted to build a culinary program because he kind of fell into a kitchen.
Okay.
But he was like, I don't cook.
Okay.
I don't want to teach the kids. But if you could come up with a curriculum, I'd give you this kitchen.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, okay, I never made a curriculum before, but I love kids. So I was like, oh, I mean, this is amazing. So
And kudos to you for not shrinking and saying, you know what, I'm just going
yeah,
to
I was like,
rise
I
to
don't
the
know why
occasion.
this guy thinks me.
Right.
Like, he never explained why or the reason he felt so comfortable to ask me.
Right. He just saw you every day
Yeah.
as you were working at
Yeah.
the shop. Okay.
And to this day, like, he's just the kindest person.
Yeah.
But he had just a vision of like, the church was called Gather the Spirits.
Okay.
So it's basically an abandoned area downstairs.
Okay.
He got funding. He cleaned the kitchen up.
Okay.
And he just wanted it to be used for children and helping inner city youth.
Okay.
It was very hands off. He just told me, if you can do it, it's yours.
Right.
I did it there for 3 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then now I'm in my 4th year, and this is the first time I'm branching out of that church.
Okay.
They had a couple changes, and their committee was revamped. I won't say like anyone ever determined
Fair.
it's not gonna happen, but eventually it just didn't happen.
Right.
And by then I had been working at Downtown Daily Bread for a little bit.
Okay.
I would say like a year.
Right.
So, I'm speaking out loud again. And this is just a common thing for me, just speaking to Corey, and somehow
I love
things
this.
might work out.
Right.
So I'm like, I really want these classes to continue. Like,
right.
My kids don't want to stop cooking.
Right.
And I just felt like such a connection to them, but I just couldn't find a location.
Okay.
So she's like, I think we could do it here. And I'm like,
wow.
Are you sure? Like, and she's like, yeah. So
perfect example of a closed mouth don't get fed. Like, just share it and say, this is happening.
And I think that's a commonality for my life.
Okay.
Like, I'm always just speaking to the right person at the right time. And I don't know. Like, I'm never like going into any conversation with any kind of motive. But by the end of it, they're like, I want to help you with that. I'm like, why?
Well, because the passion's there. Like, clearly, like, you're like, I have a passion. I want to help. And from what I'm hearing, everything and anything that you've done or ventured into, you're not going to do something just for the check. It's not like, I want to do this. Because like you said, you could have easily gone into the catering business. You already have people reaching out, but that's not what fills you.
Yeah.
So the theme is that you have to be passionate about it.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to really care about it.
Yeah.
And then you'll move forward.
Yep.
So that's what's getting these things. So people are seeing your passion.
Yeah.
And then they're like, no, I actually want to help you because I'm seeing what this is doing. So, okay, so now year 4, you're bringing your cooking classes, the curricula that you've built for children specifically, into Downtown Daily Bread.
Yeah. And by then, I had all of this foundational work. So then we started getting grants.
Okay.
Because for a while, I was paying for it out of pocket.
Oh, so this was a passion project. This ain't got
for
none
sure.
Okay.
It was just like, I mean, the moment you saw these kids, like, you could tell they just loved it.
Yeah.
Like, I have kids that have been with me the full 4 years.
I love that.
And you just bond with them. And it's like, I just feel like sometimes people have a hard time reaching kids. And for some reason, I've just never had that issue.
Okay.
And I just always want to make sure that I utilize that safe space that I'm creating for them.
Girl.
In a way that like pushes them. Like, maybe you don't feel comfortable talking to your mom about something, but you have me.
Right.
Like, I always try to be there for them even outside of cooking classes. Like,
absolutely,
the moms know if there's something going on and I can be of any way of assistance, or I could just come and cheer them on. Right. I do that.
You're more than just a teacher. You're more than just a I don't even know what that's called. Like when
like a mentor or something.
Right. You're becoming more of like
because I think not to make it anything like too,
girl. Go ahead and toot.
I don't know how to say it.
No, toot away.
I don't want to say too much about political things and
I understand
the deaths that are going on, but I do have a passion about kids feeling safe enough to not get to the point where they're starting to get. And I don't think that there's enough spaces that
don't make
me like avoid where we're finding all this trouble. Right. And if it's my cooking classes, like that's how I feel.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people are like, you are giving up time. I personally, if I can affect these 25 kids I have, I'm willing to give up my
all
time
day,
any day.
I love that.
Yeah.
And like you said, and we won't, this is going way off, but we're going to go there because you went there and it is what it is. But we're no longer in a society that is built around community. It's very individualistic.
Yeah.
Each family has their own family, their own dynamics. There was a time back when we were younger where everyone on the block knew, and they could, hey, I'm gonna tell your mom, be careful. We've lost that as a society. Everything is much more individualistic. And so how beautiful is it that you're curating a space that it's not just coming in and learning how to cook, but it's also a safe space where they're bonding with each other, they're bonding with you, you're bonding with the parents, it sounds like, as well, and you're creating community.
Yeah.
This isn't just a cooking class, it's a community.
Even experiences, like as we grow, and I feel my throat like in it, but when it comes to this, it's just like, I think that I have to credit the fact that I'm not truly first based American. Like, my base is from a different family dynamic than maybe some people have experienced.
Okay.
So there wasn't much of going out to other people's houses, being out late. So I don't know that.
Right.
And I see the consequences of having maybe a little bit more of a
too much freedom.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, of course, as a child, it sucked.
Right.
But
I get that.
I
can
think
relate.
Now in my time,
hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah, it's like, okay, maybe that was for a reason. Maybe they had the right idea. And I just think that sometimes it's just having those conversations in safe spaces.
Right.
And I just want to be that for them.
And you're creating this space for them.
Yeah.
Oh, so I could keep talking about that, but we're keeping. So you got the cooking classes. When did you venture into writing the actual cookbook?
So that was...
Love this.
So I think my storybook was first.
Okay, so because we were going to talk about all the books, and we're going to make links for all, because this is also, guys, just to kind of throw it out there. She's not only an executive chef for Downtown Daily Bread. She's not only a personal chef. She's not only a mentor at this point and giving cooking classes for children. She is a published author of not one. I don't even think not two. Like, we're at three right?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead and talk about every one, because this isn't just by coincidence or by accident.
Yeah, because I feel like every time I tell a story, we have to like go back.
I'm
like,
not
okay,
mad
I'm gonna do a quick U-turn.
Let's go. I'm on the ride with you. I'm not mad.
I was working with Jeremy Project, which is
talk about what that is, because I know what it is.
Yeah,
but let's talk.
A program through CMU,
which is Case Management Unit.
Yes. I keep on talking in abbreviation.
And I get them because I'm from the social service world. That's why I'm like, no, I get it, but I'll fill in for you. You're good. CMU equals Case Management Unit.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And they have a program called Jeremy Project.
Right.
Most of the children that are in that program has some kind of autism or Asperger's.
Okay.
And one of the things that I learned teaching them,
right,
I think I did that for a year and a half.
Okay.
So they've actually were the first paying job I had as a instructor.
Okay, got it. You're like, I was doing this forever, but I was doing it for the love. Yes, now I got to check.
But she approached me and she said, if whatever fee you want to charge me. She said she had someone else doing it. They charged her a lot. And I said, as long as you buy the food, just give me what you want to give me.
You're
so,
hard. Oh, girl.
So me and Mary Catherine, we just became cool. And I was just like, whatever you want to do. That actually only ended because we lost the space for the kitchen.
Okay.
But just to circle back to why I wrote this children's book is because I was starting to realize that there's things that keep people from cooking that I didn't understand.
Okay.
And I learned that through teaching these children.
Okay.
They're not very young children, but
No, I understand.
Like textures and things like that. So the first book was about a little girl that was timid in the kitchen, and she didn't want to touch the ground beef to make the meatballs because
cute.
it was gross feeling.
Right, yeah.
And my idea was just like, maybe if a child that had autism or Asperger's read this maybe earlier on than when I got them at Jeremy's project, maybe it would help them.
Absolutely. Because now we can get through
Yeah.
textures,
And it's not just
feelings, and you're not
and
alone.
Exactly.
I love
and
this.
Perhaps maybe if they read it and their parents understand a little bit more and push them just slightly.
Right.
Because, I mean, I pushed them.
Right.
You know, even if it took a couple times, I'm like, you're going to touch that meat. Like,
right.
I'll do it this time, but we're going to touch the meat.
I love
So
this.
just like gently making that a goal for them, you know,
working
eventually
through that fear because that's a trigger for them.
That is very much a trigger for them.
So, okay.
So I was just trying to build a bridge or a conversation where maybe parents that feel less equipped to have those kind of conversations, because again, without Jeremy Project, these kids weren't going to cook.
Fair.
That was the reality of it, because
very fair.
None of them were cooking before they got to me.
Exactly.
And these kids are either in late ages of high school and they cap it at 24.
Okay, so these are kids that are in like their later teen years going into early adulthood.
Yes.
But they're on the spectrum of some sort when it comes to autism.
Yeah.
And at this point, they've been just given everything. And so if they're not involved in this project or in this program, they're still not going to be exposed to cooking because at this point, everything's just being handed. So and you're actually
and like a mom, you know, like if your kid has issues in any way, you try to just like
do what you can to be able
whatever
to
makes your life a little bit more comfortable. And I think that's what the parents were used to
feeling
and just seeing how much they felt more accomplished by
absolutely and empowered
exactly. So I just thought maybe starting that conversation earlier and allowing those parents to understand pushing them is not mean, and it is, you'll get through it, so that was the backstory. I love it. You know.
No, and that helps. So and you don't have children with needs or anything, right?
No, ma'am.
So this is just coming off of I see a need. I am being exposed to having conversations with these children that are on the spectrum. Let me try to help parents. And so the book just comes out of a pure, there's a need there. Why not start a conversation early? Oh, Mieshia, your heart. Okay. And so book number 2, where does that come from?
Okay. That was just so the last 2 are recipe books.
Right. Which we're going to, holiday recipes. I promise we're getting to the holiday aspect of it all. But this
you see, I keep looking at you for like an indication.
I'm like we are talking holidays, but I would be remiss if I didn't also just give you your flowers right now. Because I mean, and 'tis the holiday spirit. Your heart is so beautiful. Like you're doing things just out of love.
That's getting me in trouble sometimes.
Girl, honey,
I'm like at the shelter, like he needs shoes, and they're like, Mieshia.
But I mean,
he's lying to you. I'm like, what?
Well, no, you do have to be careful of social services because that's a real thing. That is a real thing.
It gets me in trouble sometimes.
Understood.
I appreciate the flowers,
but with the right heart and in the right environment, like. And I love that your heart is leading you to these new ventures that clearly there was a need and you just allowed it to go. Okay, so book number 2 and book number 3 are more cookbooks. So we'll talk about the second one and then we'll get into our holiday conversation. But guys, 'tis the holiday spirit, and let's be real. This is a reason why we get into the holidays to begin with. It's a matter of giving. It's a matter of having a heart. It's a matter of doing for others. And this woman is a walking example of that. So we've been talking about holidays this whole time, but now we'll talk about the actual cooking and everything else. So talk about your cookbooks now. Now we'll get into the...
All right.
Here we go.
Well, the first cookbook, so both of them are geared for children.
Okay.
Sorry, parents.
I love that you do
I don't
that.
really do much for adults. I just love the kids. So they're both kid oriented.
Okay.
Easy things, and they're made to encourage mommy, daughter, daddy, you know.
I love
parent and child time. Yes.
Then
yes. Yeah. Because as a chef, that's me and my kids' way of bonding. So it's just another way that it's just, I don't know. I'm always thinking, I just want my kids to watch me and be able to say
Right.
whatever they want to do is fine.
Yeah.
But I want them to see that once you follow what you're supposed to do,
Right.
then everything will fall in. I mean, I really can't explain where these doors come from.
Honey.
And that's all I want my work to represent is like when you are doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yes.
I don't know. You'll get where you're
You'll
supposed to be.
go where you need
Yeah.
to go, and doors
Yeah.
will be open. And if
Yeah.
one door closes, another window will
Yeah.
open up of some
And I
sort.
don't know what prayer I'll be praying, but
Honey.
before the door closes, the window's open. I don't know.
I'm not mad.
I'm just gonna keep following.
So you've created these books.
Yeah.
They're specific for parent-child time.
Yep.
It's for them to be together. Your influence of these books is literally just representing what you're doing with your, I want to say girls, but I don't know if both of them are.
I have 3 kids.
3,
1 is
okay.
a boy, 2 is girls.
So I always remember pictures of the
Yes.
girls. That's why I was like, I don't
Well,
want
my
to.
son don't like pictures. That
Okay,
much.
so then that's
So I'm
why.
always like taking candidates of him.
Understood. So I'm like, I'm thinking girls, but you're creating a space because of the fact that that's the way you bond. You've curated cookbooks specific to it.
Yep.
Now we'll go into, so talk about this new one that's holiday specific.
Yes.
Here we go, guys. The holiday cooking extraordinary. Talk about it.
So the holiday book is
Yes.
completely full of treats.
Okay.
So if you don't give your kids sweets, it might not be the book for you. Because,
Okay.
around the holiday time, you see all these like Pinterest things to make, and
Right.
everyone likes baking. Everybody wants to, so
Yeah.
it's all geared towards if you have any type of time,
Right.
morning, noon, night.
Yes.
And it's all very easy stuff. Nothing
Okay.
will take you more than 30 minutes.
Mm.
Like some are very quick. Some are just
Okay.
like fruit kebabs.
Okay.
But they might be snowmans. So it's like I just wanted to allow the parents to it's really just to engage them.
Okay.
And I feel like when your kids feel like they're doing well at something, they'll
Yes.
want to keep doing it.
Absolutely.
So it's just to get them started cooking at the
Okay.
level that they're at.
Okay. So, and it's specific to holidays.
Specific to holidays.
So all of the treats. So give like your top 3 treats that are in this book. We already said there's fruit kebabs that look like snowmen.
Yeah.
Like what can people expect in this book?
There's
Let's talk
lots
about.
of cupcakes.
Okay.
Because who doesn't love a cupcake?
Talk about it.
There's cookies.
Okay.
And a lot of these me and my kids make because at my house, Christmas is a thing. A whole 30 days of things.
Yes.
Like we're crazy about holidays.
Same.
Like I love holidays.
Yeah.
But Christmas is one of those where we're watching all kinds of movies.
100%.
My kids think like it's an expectation.
Absolutely.
Like where's
it
our
is.
activities?
Because it is.
Mom, what's going on?
Right.
So
are you the gingerbread house in the whole?
everything.
Okay. Is there a
everything
gingerbread house in
Christmas.
here?
Yes.
I knew it.
No, gingerbread cookies. Because you know what? I
okay.
don't really like the houses that much.
I'm not
They
mad.
seem to collapse a lot.
Or you ain't doing it.
I
You
mean, I
ain't
do it
doing
for the
it.
kids though.
Okay. So
Just
you'll
their
do
attention span is short. By the time it breaks down, they don't care anymore.
fair. Okay. So you've got a gingerbread cookie recipe
Cookie. Yes.
in there. All right. And so you're doing all the things. So they can expect quick, fairly easy,
Very easy.
getting their hands dirty, doing something together.
Yes.
Holiday specific,
Yes.
holiday staple.
Yes. And
treats.
one thing as a parent that this book will allow you to do is if you turn around and leave your kids to do it,
Right.
they will not burn your house down. It's not too hard.
Okay.
You can step away for a second. I know like sometimes that's why people don't like their kids in the kitchen.
Right. Yeah.
It's
the
like,
fear
I
of-
want you to do this, but are you going to hurt yourself? Are you going to do So it's very, very easy.
And it allows the kids to be hands-on and involved in it.
Yes.
Okay. And you're giving detailed instructions the whole night. It's your typical cookbook feel.
Yep.
And we'll have the link and everything in the
Yes,
description
ma'am.
for it. So holiday delights are coming
Yes.
and we're good to go.
Yes.
I'm not mad at that. So let's talk about what else do you have in the works? Like at this point, like you're doing all the things. We discussed the holiday treats that are coming. And more than anything for the holidays, spend time with your family and
Yes.
loved ones. Love on each other. Like there's so much going on. Like I love the fact that this cookbook in particular is about unity. It's about
Yes.
being together. It's about mom, dad, significant other, whoever, grandparent and kid, like cook, spend
Yeah.
time, and build something together. Love that.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful. What else do you have going on?
So December 8th will be our very first holiday fest.
Okay.
So right now we have so many parents that's reached out. I'm pretty excited. It's going to be 300 plus people in together coming, including parents and their kids. So I
Right.
did a registration, asking kids' ages, what they're into. So that day will consist of, I have Shauna Mosley. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No worries.
She's going to be there doing ornament and decoration. She usually does rock painting for my kids.
Okay.
And we had her come out for our community day that we had for kids
Okay.
in the summertime.
Love that.
So she's going to change it up and do ornaments with them.
Okay.
I have a face painter coming out. We have cookie kits coming from Kristen. I'm so sorry, I forgot her name.
No,
But Kristen. I will get the information.
At the end of the day, all we
Yes.
need is where do they
Kristen
need...
Cobb.
There you
That's
go.
it. There, it came to me. So she does cookie kits. And if
Okay.
anyone wants cookie kits, she is the person to go to.
Okay.
She even does the ones with like the elf on the shelf. It's the size of like the elf.
Right.
So it looks like he actually baked it.
I love that.
I'm obsessed with her during the holidays.
Okay.
So I got her to make cookie kits for 200 kids.
Wow.
So I greatly appreciate her.
Absolutely.
We'll have music, coloring, all
Right.
kinds of stuff. And then obviously we have to have Santa. So we'll have Santa giving out gifts.
Yeah.
All kids will leave with a gift that day. So
this
it's
is
just
beautiful.
to again, maybe I'm always a little bit over ambitious.
I'm not mad at
My aunt is my assistant, so she's always like, Mieshia, and I'm like, it's not your dream. It's not your dream. So she's like, Mieshia, you're gonna give all these kids gifts. I'm like, yes.
It's
like,
gonna come.
My idea behind Holiday Fest is truly, if someone is not able to provide a Christmas,
Right.
as a parent, that sucks.
Yes, it does.
And I want every single parent to understand that this is not in any way to make you feel bad or uncomfortable. We are
Right.
giving out gifts, and we're creating an experience so that if you cannot do something when
Right.
Christmas comes around, I just want your kids to have that memory, and you guys have that experience as a family.
Absolutely.
So,
and it's okay
yeah,
to attend an
exactly. It
event
is
like
okay.
this. And this is an
Yes.
experience that your children will remember, and you can still make Christmas
Yes.
feel special.
And I just want to give them that kind of like the economy is hard.
Yes,
So I
it
just
is.
want to take away some of that pressure. So I wanted it to be a fun day for everyone.
Oh,
so
I
the
love
parents
that.
can do the crafts with the kids.
Right.
Everyone can engage, and I think I forgot.
Yeah.
And there'll be a photo corner.
Okay.
So
girl.
they'll have family pictures, and it's just, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
it's just holiday memories that perhaps I feel like if you're a mom, you feel terrible if you can't do what you want to do for your kids.
Period.
So listen, you're going to go home with a picture with your children.
Right.
You're going to get crafts, cookies, all types of stuff.
And a gift.
And lunch and gifts.
And lunch and a gift.
Yep.
There's not anything they're not getting.
Exactly.
I'm going to keep saying it, but your heart, girl, your heart is beyond. So at the end of the day, at this event, and we'll have the registration in it. Now, I'm assuming with all of this, I mean, there is at some point a capacity. So
Yeah.
it's okay
Yeah.
that, I mean, if at whatever point, like, do you have a capacity limit? Like, registration will be closed at some point if and when it closes. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But at least you're giving back and you're doing what you can for as many families that you're able to do.
Because our original venue was
Yeah.
King's Mansion.
Okay.
And of course, that's a beautiful venue.
Absolutely.
And I wanted it to be like a winter wonderland.
Understood.
But once we got to 300 people, I had to realize that that's a bit much.
Yeah.
So we're now moving it to, we're in between two places.
Okay.
Because it's a last minute switch.
Yeah.
The Whitaker Center or the Hilton.
Oh, wow.
So they've both been trying to conversate with me to just see like what my vision is. I'm aiming for either one of them because they're both able to
have a higher capacity,
yes,
which
yeah.
will allow for more individuals
Right.
and more people to get
Yeah.
involved.
Because the idea of telling people I couldn't do it,
That hurts.
yeah. So
I get
now
that.
I'm like, okay, let's make this happen. Let's find a new location.
You better
Like,
go.
so,
And I know, so
yeah.
you'll have that. So by the time, when this episode drops, we'll have the links to the registration and everything in the actual description so that you can go ahead and sign up. And again, understanding that you're expanding it to as many people as you can.
Yeah.
And so you're going to serve as many families as you can.
Yeah.
You're even changing venues to expand
more.
and accommodate
Yeah.
more people. So that is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. Like, Christmas to me is just a magical time.
Yeah.
The holidays are a magical time. And it's not about what you get. It's
Yeah.
about my favorite moments with family it's the family memories. It's a different thing. So how beautiful is it that you're curating an event and an opportunity for crafts, for cookies, for all of the staples, for all of the funds. You have a cookbook out so that you create opportunities for people to spend time together. Like, you're making the holidays a special time and a special place for people, regardless of circumstance, regardless of what they do or don't have, because it's not about what you have. It's about just quality time.
Exactly. And everyone who comes to the event will get a free cookbook.
Oh,
so all the kids
because they're
will be
not
going
getting
home.
everything else.
Right.
I'm not mad.
Because I'm like Oprah for children, I think, at
I
this
can't.
point.
You
It's
get
like,
a book.
You get a
You
book.
get a book. I can't. Oh my God, Mieshia, I'm loving all of this. So, all right. So outside of the holidays, but we talked about all of it. Where do you plan to go from here? Like, where do you see yourself like continuing? Because this is beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, long term, I would love to get a building.
Okay.
Because I actually want a space where I can bring in other people to service the kids that I have and expand how many kids. Because I've continuously have a wait list. I've actually gone to 2 classes a semester.
Okay.
Because none of my kids that are here want to go, but then people are asking to get involved. So,
Absolutely. I get that.
We've been just trying so many different things. We have our sales going right now because we're going to do our end of the year party for just my students.
Okay.
And we'll be going to Urban Air.
I love that.
Yeah, because we have every semester we have a graduation.
Okay.
And it was just beautiful because this time around I'm getting choked up. Okay.
I love this. It's good.
I was able to take my kids and their families to Duke's, and they just, the little things just matter to them. And
100%. You're going to get me choked up. So you're able, it's not just a matter, because it's not just the cooking classes. You're really creating community here, and you're allowing them to experience things that other people at times take for granted.
Yeah.
And they get to go out to eat.
Yeah.
They get to break bread with one another.
And they just thought it was, I got them the ice cream bar. It was like mine. I'm like, and I just think that also supporting the parents that I work with.
Absolutely.
It just creates such a difference.
Right.
Like, they come in and check with me as if I'm like one of the co-parents. Like,
Because you are.
Yeah. They're like, she's been acting up. I'm like, come on, let's talk. Like,
right.
What's going, So I just think that now I feel responsible. Mm-hmm. Because
it takes a village.
I'm grateful for it though, not in a dreary type of way,
right.
or it's overwhelming.
I take pride.
I definitely take pride in these parents allowing me into these children's lives, and I don't take it for granted. Mm-hmm. And I just want to.
Yes.
I don't like this.
No, you do.
I just want to continue. Oh my word.
No worries. We'll take that part out. It's fine.
Thank
Go ahead.
you.
Go ahead.
So I just
I got you. Make a note of that.
Yes.
Now go.
Yeah, I just want to continue to use my influence to create more spaces where these parents can I want to be a resource.
Absolutely.
And I know I can't teach 300 children. So if Holiday Fest is the one day that I can spread that kind of joy and ensure that these kids have those type of memories.
Absolutely.
And not with me, memories with their families.
Right.
Because that's what it means to me. You know what I mean?
I do. I do. I'm getting choked up while you're talking, but no, I get it.
So
Yeah.
I just want, not to make this about any kind of belief or anything, but my faith is when you walk the right way, you do what you're supposed to do. Things come to you. And since he keeps sending things to me, I'm just trying to do what I'm supposed to do with it.
That's a word. That right there, that's a word right there. The fact that you're like, I'm getting opportunities, I'm receiving blessings, and it's my duty.
My duty.
To bless.
Yep.
Because he that has a lot in abundance is to share.
Yeah.
Oh, girl. Okay. we went where I didn't think, but I'm loving every moment of this. Okay, so in the next few years, we see a building. It's going to come to fruition because this is what it is. Because Mieshia has a vision to create continued community and have an impact on the kids of this community and the families, and find a way.
And my obedience is going to get me a building.
And your obedience is absolutely going to get you that building. So I always ask 2 questions. It's the same. So what advice would you give someone who also wants to take cooking more seriously? Since cooking is what started all of this, like let's focus on the person who also has a natural gift and they want to take it more serious and they don't know how. What advice would you give someone like that?
I think you shouldn't have a fear of following. I think a lot of people want to be leaders.
Ooh, girl.
But not enough people want to be a follower. And not in the sense of trends.
Right.
But I'm okay with saying I don't know something, and I'm okay with asking questions. I don't have to be the smartest person.
Right there.
And it doesn't take away from you to learn from another person.
Amen.
So,
okay.
If you want to do something, there's someone doing it better than you. Accept it and learn from it. 'Cause that's what I do.
And look at you now.
See?
You better.
That's why I remain humble.
There it is.
I never walk in a room thinking I'm the smartest person.
Girl, what advice would you give your younger you?
Jeez. Advice for younger me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say my upbringing was easy.
Understood.
And I think that I did what I was supposed to do with the struggles that I had. I guess I would just tell her it's going to get better. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, I didn't give up.
Right.
But, I mean, I guess I would have liked to know earlier that it's going to pay off one day.
So just keep trucking, girl, because it's going to pay off.
It's going to work out.
And there's that. Oh, my God. When I tell you, girl, you are a blessing. Like, you're a blessing. Like,
and so are you.
I appreciate that, but it ain't
making
about
rooms for people. And I mean, again, this is just another thing people can learn from.
You gonna make me cry. But all right, so on every episode, because we're not doing this, we're not doing the back and forth.
No.
On every episode, I always give my key takeaways. I don't even know where to begin with this young woman right here. Her heart is just pure, but I'm gonna find them. We're gonna pull them out. So here we go. Key takeaway number 1. I always tend to start with the last thing that someone says and then work my way up to the first, because the advice that you just gave someone, that's it right there. My first key takeaway is it is okay to follow first, to not be the smartest person in the room, and to learn. So if you have a passion for something, if you have something that's in your gut that you want to do, be willing to learn. Be willing to be in spaces where you're following and allow that to just build itself from there. My second key takeaway is, I'm trying to think of how I want to say this. So when you have an opportunity and you have blessings that come to you, do not be so short-sighted and think that starts and ends with you. Be a blessing to others. Allow yourself to be a place where blessings flow in and then they come out. Allow that to happen, because when you do that and you do it more often, doors will continue to open. My third key takeaway, and this is for everyone, let us be focused on community. Let us pour love and be available for those around us, because you never know what someone's going through. You never know the walk that they're walking. So taking something that feels so like, oh, I'm just cooking a class, can become a place of safety and a place of growth and a place of community. Don't shy away from that. So allow for community to happen, and let us lean on each other more often. And my last key takeaway, and I guess I should talk about something holiday related, is because this is that 'tis the season. My last key takeaway goes to what you were saying about you never want your families to feel a certain way. Be willing to accept help. Be willing to get involved. Allow your children to get involved into different programs and different things, because in that, it allows space for memories. It allows space for opportunity. It allows space for you to get the break that you might desperately need and the shoulder that you didn't know you needed to lean on. So never be too prideful to accept that opportunity, because at the end of the day, it's not even a handout, it's a hand up. It is an opportunity to create a memory that's going to be a lasting memory for you and your family. So let that be a thing. I'll also just throw out there, definitely cop her cookbook. Make opportunities for spaces with each other. Let's build a community with all of us. Like, as you guys know, I'm looking to create a community here. And Mieshia, you're doing it already when it comes to these children in this city. So
thank you.
Kudos to you for doing that. Let's keep it happening. Let's keep it moving. I gave you your flowers earlier, girl. I'm so filled with love and like compassion. Like, I just got to say it again. What you're doing is important. It's needed. This community needs you. Keep going. Keep pushing. She's great, guys. So as always, sending light, sending love. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Bye.